Well, this, of course, follows the president's Oval Office speech last night, where he not only talked about leaving Iraq, but also the future of Afghanistan and even the economy. We're back with our panel, Tamara Holder, Michael Grimm, and Robert George. All right, Michael, you are a veteran of the first Gulf War.
Yes, that's correct.
You've been there. You've seen it firsthand.
I was in combat, yes.
What was your reaction to the president's speech last night?
I was disappointed, and for me it raised two concerns. Number one is, does this president have the commitment to going the distance if another conflict arises? And if I have that concern, then that begs the question, what are other leaders throughout the world thinking? Will this embolden Iran, North Korea? Do they think that we are losing our resolve? So I think that's number one. The second concern is going back to the economy. There's no question this president has his finger on the pulse of exactly what the problems are. We need to create jobs. There's no doubt about that. But he also implies that sweeping legislations like cap and trade and more spending are coming our way, which is exactly what we don't need for this economy.
Robert, one of the things he said last night, as he spun into a speech about the economy after talking about Iraq and Afghanistan, was that we've spent so much money on the wars that's one of the reasons why people don't have jobs back here in the U.S.?
Yeah, as we were talking about in the break, that is, as they say, a little bit of a stretch. I think in your previous segment we were talking about the fact that the Iraq War cost about maybe 100 billion or so. The stimulus is well over $1 trillion when you add everything into it. The fact is, people now see the Iraq War as a success. Whether you want to call it a victory, maybe but it is a success, and in a sense, it's a successful government program, quote unquote. Whereas there's a lot of questions about whether the stimulus is actually successful. I mean,
I just want to get in this point, because a lot of critics after the speech last night said that President Obama, Tamara, appears to like being a domestic president more than a foreign policy president. Would you agree with that?
I couldn't disagree more with that.
In what way?
Because he, as far as Afghanistan goes, he brought in more troops per the request. He exited Iraq. Sorry, he exited Iraq on his timeline. He is doing everything possible with these wars to make it a success, both in Iraq and in Afghanistan. And for us to critique every single thing about this president out of one speech is absolutely ridiculous. He wasn't giving enough credit to Bush. Was he going to thank the troops?
How tough would it have been to say that the surge worked?
It wouldn't have been tough, but he didn't do it as speechwriters.
What
is enough? I mean, everybody's critiquing every single thing. He gave thanks to Bush.
He also put our troops in a tougher position than they need to be in by dictating timelines to the, well, I was on the ground, I've been in combat. You tell me now what tactical advantage there possibly could be to telling the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda that we will withdraw by such and such date.
I got to wrap
There's an interesting thing you have to keep in mind. He didn't mention, if you notice, he didn't mention the Taliban in the speech. He mentioned Al-Qaeda. He did not mention the Taliban, which I think is in a sense a setup so they can say, well, we've gotten most of Al-Qaeda out, and then they're going to negotiate some kind of an arrangement with the Taliban a year from now. Keep an eye out for that.
That's a deep assessment, but I will keep an eye out. I got to wrap it up there. But as you can see, this is what's happening with people at home right now after listening to the speech. Thanks very much, panel.
Thank you.
Tiger Woods.